Hey guys, this is Mr. Benanti. We're going to be working on our solar oven project. This is for my summer school class, but if you're a student or a learner and you want to have fun with it, then by all means, we'll do this together. So here are the things you're going to need. You're going to need some of the instructions, but of course you can watch this video to figure it out. Aluminum foil, marshmallows, plastic, a shoebox, a stick, or dowel rod is what this is, graham cracker, chocolate, glue, tape, and scissors. So let's get started. Alright guys, so here is my shoebox. I used a little bit of a unique one since I'm sending home a traditional shoebox to my students. You can really use any one that you want, but the first step that we're going to have to do is make sure that the box is closed. And we'll take our scissors. You want to cut on don't cut along the edge that actually closes. What you're going to be doing is cutting from the factory edge or the edge that folds down. Carefully use your scissors. And we're going to pierce the box like so. And you can see where I started here. You don't want to be too close to the edge. I'd say about a finger's width it will be good, about an inch. And then we're going to cut through the box, not all the way to the end because we want it to be able to seal. There we go. So as you can see, I stopped right before I got to the end, and I've got a little bit of room there. So we're going to do that on the other side as well. Again, be careful with the scissors. Again, stopping right before you get to the end because you don't want to cut all the way through. And then we'll take it. It might be easier to work with it open. And we will go along this edge so that we are making an additional opening in the box. And again, guys, I just want to emphasize that make sure you're very careful cutting through cardboard. Sorry to be preachy, but this stuff will cut you, and you don't want that. So there we go. Now, if we have our box closed as we did before, we should have an additional flap that comes open with the box still remaining closed. All right, guys, now that we have our cut in on the top of our box for the second flap, we're going to go ahead and line the inside of our box with our tin foil. So let's flip our box lid over. Make sure you don't do the whole lid, just the one that we cut. You've got two sides to your aluminum foil. I would use the shinier side so that it's more reflective. That will be on the outside. In order to save what material I have, I am going to fold it over and then cut it to fit. Again, making sure that it stays nice and flat. So if you kind of fold it, you'll see that you get an edge like so you can see where to cut. And I'll cut that really quick. Like so. Next we will take our glue. I'm going to go ahead and use this Elmer's stick glue. There's lots of different glues you can use. It doesn't much matter, I'm just using this because it's a little easier to use. I'm going to put it on the inside of my box lid, like so. I'll kind of make sure that I get it so I have plenty to work with. I would probably pay close attention to getting glue on the edges so that at least when you're closing the box over and over that it will stay down. All right, and then again, making sure that you use the reflective side up, we will go ahead and stick our tin foil on here. And we want to make sure it's smoothed out. If you have any overlap, you can just fold it over, it won't hurt anything. And now we'll move into the inside of the box. All right, guys, once we have our lid, not the whole lid, but at least the part where we cut out, we're gonna go to the inside of the box, and you can use your leftover, and we just wanna layer the entire inside. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what it looks like after we're done. Alright guys, so now that I've got my tin foil in here to reflect the heat, you guys can take a look. It's throughout the whole inside of the box. I was careful not to put it on this side of the flap because we're about to get to that now. So if you're in my summer school class, I sent you home a plastic bag, which we'll use. I also recommend, if you're watching this video, to use this instead of saran wrap because it comes double layered, and we're going to need 2 layers in order to make our screen to trap the heat in. So what I will do is, with this flap here, I'm going to size my plastic so that I can fit it with tape right onto this flap. And so I will cut this out right now and I'll put it on and then I'll show you how it looks. So I went ahead and cut my plastic to fit. I just used the bottom of my bag, as you can see here, and I placed it on here, and then I cut it so that it didn't go all the way exactly around. I left a little bit of room so I can have a tape edge. Now what I'll do is I will start with my tape a little bit at a time so I can secure certain sides of it. Make sure that it's on your little edge here, like so. And it's all right if you use more tape than you think you need. At least we will make sure it stays down. I'm just going over a couple of different sides here so that I have it in the place I want it to. All right, now that I've got it held down in place, I'll just go around the whole outside or the perimeter of my screen to make sure it stays fastened down for when we open and close the lid. If you get the tape on the outside, it's all right. Just make sure that you fold it under and over. So now, we'll take it out, and we should have a nice little protective screen just like that. So a couple of things that I've done to make my box work a little better for me is that I put a little piece of tape on this little lip here so that I can hold my box down instead of sticking it in through here every time, because what'll happen is it'll start bending your tin foil. So what I did is I just made that so it'll be like a little handle, if you will. The next thing that we're going to need to do is to create our rod. Obviously these are very long, but we won't need to be that long. So we'll break it or cut it in some manner that works best for you. So I have to have a slight angle with my oven door here so that I can have the reflection from heat go downward. If we have it like this, I'll just be reflecting my heat outward, and we don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm not going to make any measurements. I'm going to make this kind of easy. I'm going to make sure that it's not too far down that the sun can't get in, but again, not too far back that it reflects the light outward. So I'm going to take my stick, and I'll use my finger for measurement, and I'll have it about right here or so, which I think looks pretty good. And then I will take where I marked it on my finger. I'll take my scissors just so I can make a little mark on it. If you spin it in your scissors, it'll kind of cut into it, like so. And then you should be able to just break it off like that. To hold the door up, all you should have to do is just put it into the groove of your box on top of the plastic and let the door sit on the top. And it should work just like that. Okay, so now that I've got my box made, I have brought it outside. This happens to be in our school parking lot. It's on asphalt. I'm in a safe place, so make sure if you put it outside, you put it somewhere safe, because it has to sit out here to preheat like a real oven for 30 minutes. You can see I've got it set up. One thing that I modified on my box while I was on my way out here was I noticed that when I cut these sides off, I had this gap here. Well, what I did was I went ahead and added these little plastic flaps to make sure the heat doesn't escape out of that hole. So now all my heat should stay nice and in the box, and I've got it tilted forward, so it should go ahead and make our s'mores here after about 30 minutes it'll heat up, and then I'll let them cook. We'll check it out around then. So about 30 minutes had passed, so as you can see I went ahead and set up the initial part of my s'more. I put the cracker down and the marshmallow on top. I made sure that my sides here are closed with my plastic flap, and hopefully it will do well. So we'll see how it goes. Okay guys, so it's been about 30 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put the chocolate on top. The marshmallows have gotten softer, so I'll go ahead and put the chocolate on top. I kind of broke mine up in silly different ways, just on accident. So we'll put that on, and then we will, oops, I'll fix this one, and we'll let it go for another little while and come out, and by the time we get them, they should be nice and finished. So we'll go ahead and do that. It's been about the full cook time, about an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead, and you can see they've smushed down quite a bit. I'm gonna just go ahead and top them off. I put the chocolate on a little after the fact. And we should have, oh yeah, a full s'more. Very nice and melty, so bon appetit.